Picture this. My phone buzzes on the kitchen counter, lighting up with yet another unknown number. I glance at the screen, sigh heavily, and already know what's coming. "Hi, is this Tom?" The voice on the other end asks, full of expectation. My stomach twists. Again, for the 100th time. But this time I'm not going to politely correct them. This time, I'm done playing nice. Let me take you back to how it all started, because trust me, you need to feel the slow burn of frustration that led to the most gloriously petty explosion I've ever unleashed. My name's Sarah. I'm 28, live in a quiet apartment in Seattle, and about 2 years ago I got a new phone number. New job, fresh start, all that jazz. At first I didn't think much of the occasional wrong number texts or calls. Happens to everyone, right? But within a couple weeks it became clear. This number used to belong to someone named Tom. And Tom? Tom apparently had a lot of friends. A lot. Debt collectors started calling. Real estate agents asking about listings. Random women texting heart emojis and miss you, babe. Guys asking about fantasy football leagues. It was nonstop. I'd pick up, explain patiently. "Sorry, wrong number. This isn't Tom's phone anymore." Most people were apologetic, said they'd update their contacts. Cool, no big deal. But then, some wouldn't listen. I'd get the same numbers calling back weeks later. "Is Tom there?" I'd repeat myself, a little firmer. "No, wrong number. Please stop calling." Click. Blocked. Yet new ones kept coming. It was like Tom had given this number to half the city and never bothered telling anyone he'd changed it. I started feeling this low-level irritation every time my phone rang. My heart would sink a little. I'd tense up walking past it on the table. It was invading my space, my peace. Can you even imagine? Your own phone. The thing that's supposed to connect you to people you actually want to talk to. Becoming a source of dread? Months dragged on like this. I'd wake up to missed calls from numbers I didn't know. Texts at dinner asking for Tom. It chipped away at me, little by little. Then one day, something shifted. I got a call from a real estate agent. Super chipper woman going on about an open house Tom had apparently expressed interest in. I cut her off mid-sentence. "Ma'am, I've had this number for over a year. It's not Tom's. Please remove it from your list." She paused. "Oh, well, Tom just gave me this number last week." My blood ran cold. Last week? That meant Tom still had people calling this number on purpose. I hung up, hands shaking slightly. Was he actually giving out my number? Deliberately? Over the next few days, I paid closer attention. And yeah, the pattern was undeniable. Brand new contacts, car dealerships, insurance agents, random businesses, all saying Tom had provided this number recently. This wasn't just laziness anymore. This was malice. Tom was weaponizing my phone against me. I sat on my couch that night, staring at my screen as it lit up again. Another unknown number. Another message. "Tom, it's Mike from the gym. You still coming to lift tomorrow?" My jaw clenched so hard I felt it in my temples. Heat rose in my chest. Who the hell does this? Who thinks it's okay to punish a stranger because they got your old number? I could have changed my number. I thought about it. But why should I? I'd already updated everything. Bank, work, family, friends. Starting over would be a massive hassle. And honestly, screw that. Why should I be inconvenienced because some entitled jerk can't be bothered to tell people he's moved on? No, he wanted to play games? Fine, I'd play. But I was going to win. The next few calls that came in asking for Tom, I ignored. Let them go to voicemail. I wanted to build up a little arsenal of numbers. People who clearly still thought this was Tom's phone. Then came the perfect opportunity. My phone rang on a quiet Saturday morning. Unknown number. I answered sweetly. "Hello? Hi, is Tom available?" My heart raced. Not with fear this time, but with delicious anticipation. "Hey there," I said, dropping my voice into what I hoped sounded like a flustered, slightly out-of-breath tone. "This is actually Tom's phone, but he's kind of in the middle of something right now." A pause. "Oh, sorry to bother you. When might be a better time to reach him?" I bit my lip to keep from laughing. "Well, He's going to be tied up, literally, for quite a while. He's at a convention downtown. Another pause. A convention? Yeah, I said, letting my voice go conspiratorial. A furry convention. You know, the suits, the tails, the whole thing. He's really getting into it right now. Like, really getting his ass absolutely railed in a fursuit as we speak. Super into the scene. Might be a few hours. Dead silence on the other end. Then a choked, "Oh my God. Okay. I'll try later?" "You do that," I said cheerfully and hung up. I stared at my phone, adrenaline surging. Had I actually just done that? Oh yes. Yes, I had. And it felt amazing. I waited, barely able to contain myself. The second opportunity came 2 days later. Another real estate agent. This one a guy sounding very professional. "Is Tom there?" I went full performance mode. "Hey man, it's Tom's phone. He's occupied at the moment." "Occupied?" "Yeah, dude. He's at the furry con downtown getting absolutely pounded in his fox suit, like full yiff mode, super passionate about it. I'll tell him you called when he can walk again." The guy made this strangled noise and hung up immediately. I was shaking with silent laughter on my floor. Now we wait. It took less than 24 hours. My phone started blowing up with missed calls from a single unknown number. Not 1, not 2. 7 missed calls in a row. Then 8. Then texts started coming in. "Who is this? Stop telling people that shit. This isn't funny. Answer the phone." I didn't answer, of course. Just watched the notifications pile up with the biggest grin on my face. He called again and again. I finally picked up on what must have been the 15th attempt. Heavy breathing on the other end. "Who the hell are you?" a guy's voice demanded. Angry, panicked. I kept my voice calm, almost bored. "Who's this?" "You know damn well. You've been telling people I'm at some furry thing." "Oh," I said slowly. "Tom, right?" "Yes, stop telling people that crap." "Funny," I said. "Because this hasn't been your number for over 2 years, Tom. Yet you've been giving it out to everyone under the sun just to screw with me." Silence. Pretty shitty thing to do to a stranger, don't you think? More silence. "So here's how this is going to go," I continued sweetly. "You're going to tell every single person you know that this isn't your number anymore. You're going to stop giving it out. And maybe, just maybe, I'll stop letting people know exactly what you're supposedly up to on weekends." "You wouldn't." "Already did, buddy, twice. And I've got plenty more numbers saved." He made this frustrated growling sound. "This is harassment." "No, Tom," I said, letting ice creep into my voice. "Harassment is what you've been doing to me for months. This is consequences." I hung up. And then peace. Absolute beautiful peace. No more random calls asking for Tom. No more texts at 2 a.m. from his buddies. No more real estate agents or debt collectors. Just silence. The kind of silence that feels like victory. Looking back, I still get that little rush thinking about it. Was it mature? Maybe not. Was it proportional? Absolutely not. It was gloriously disproportionate, and that's what made it perfect. Sometimes when people push and push and push, thinking there are no repercussions because you're just some anonymous stranger on the other end of a phone number, sometimes you have to remind them that actions have consequences. Even petty ones. Even ridiculous, over-the-top, laugh-out-loud consequences. Because let me tell you, the mental image of Tom frantically trying to explain to his gym bro or real estate agent that, no, he's not actually into that. He swears. It's chef's kiss. Perfect. I never heard from him again. Never got another wrong number call for Tom. My phone went back to being mine. And every time it rings now with an unknown number, I still get that tiny flutter of tension. But then I remember. I won. Whew! Did this one give you that satisfying chill? I think about that period of my life sometimes. How something as small as a phone number could cause so much quiet stress. It's weird, isn't it? The little things that chip away at your peace until one day you snap. Not in a screaming, dramatic way, but in this calculated, ice-cold burst of pure pettiness. After the confrontation call, I saved Tom's number, the one that had blown up my phone in panic. I labeled it, "Do Not Answer," entitled Tom. Figured if he ever tried anything again, I'd have proof. But he didn't. In fact, the very next week I got one last call from someone asking for Tom, some woman sounding confused. I almost went into my routine again, but something made me pause. Actually, I told her gently, this hasn't been Tom's number for years. He might have given you the wrong one on purpose. He's been doing that to avoid calls. She made a sympathetic noise. Oh, wow, that's awful. Thanks for letting me know. I'll spread the word. And that was it. The last Tom call ever. I like to think that somewhere out there, Tom's sitting with his real phone, fielding awkward questions from people he knows. Hey, man, someone said you were at a furry thing? The uncomfortable laughs, the denials, the lingering suspicion in people's eyes. Because once you plant a seed like that, it grows. People remember the weird stuff. I changed nothing about my life except one glorious act of verbal chaos. And suddenly my biggest daily annoyance vanished overnight. It's almost poetic. The power of reputation, right? Tom thought he could hide behind anonymity, tormenting some random woman who'd inherited his digital trash heap. But the second his own reputation was on the line, the second something embarrassing could be tied back to him personally, he folded like a cheap suit. Makes you wonder how many people out there act like jerks specifically because they think they'll never face consequences. I didn't need to yell. Didn't need to threaten legal action, though trust me, I looked into it. Didn't need to change my number or pay for blocking services. I just needed to make it personal for him, the same way he'd made it personal for me. There's something deeply satisfying about that symmetry, about turning someone's own weapon against them, but better, sharper, funnier. I kept those original messages saved for a while, screenshots of the texts I'd sent, the missed calls from Tom's meltdown. Not because I thought I'd need them, but because sometimes, on a bad day, I'd pull them up and reread. Instant mood boost. Proof that sometimes the universe does deliver justice. You just have to give it a little nudge. A furry-shaped nudge. Would I do it again? In a heartbeat. Not because I'm proud of being crude or shocking someone, but because it worked, beautifully, and because he deserved it. There's a difference between being petty and being pushed. I was pushed. Hard. For months. And when I finally pushed back, the satisfaction was immense. Like finally exhaling after holding your breath way too long. My friends still laugh about it when I tell the story. Only you, Sarah, they say. Only you would go full nuclear over a phone number. But they get it. They all get it. Because we've all had that one thing. That one person. That one situation. That just keeps grinding away at us until we can't take it anymore. And when we finally fight back, in whatever small, glorious way we can, it feels like reclaiming yourself, piece by piece, call by call, until your phone is yours again, until your peace is yours again, until you remember that no, you don't have to just take it. Sometimes you get to give it back, tenfold, wrapped in the most ridiculous bow imaginable. I still smile thinking about Tom out there somewhere, probably triple-checking before he gives anyone his real number now, probably jumping a little every time his phone rings with an unknown caller. Good. Let him feel it. Just a fraction of what he put me through. Karma doesn't always need to be cosmic or dramatic. Sometimes it's just a perfectly timed text message. Sometimes it's just making someone sweat the way they made you sweat. And sometimes that's enough. More than enough. Whew! Did this one give you that satisfying chill?